Speaking of business, in our studio is one of the partners with Private Vista. You hear us do commercials for them now and again on WGN Radio, Bob Westrick. Hey, Bob, how are you?
Doing well, John. How you doing?
Bob and I, by the way, just coincidentally are wearing the same kind of blue blazer, which means that some of your financial knowledge is now transferring to me. So if you've got any questions out there, just give me a call, and I'll manage your money. What do you think of that?
I don't think that's a very good idea for your listeners, John.
You call yourself a wealth manager, right?
Correct.
Which I think we've all heard that 1,000 times. What's your definition of what a wealth manager does?
Well, that's a good question. For what we do at Private Vista, it's a blending of disciplines. Our financials do planning, and planning can be, for various life events, including sale of company or retirement or post-divorce event or something like that. And that's kind of blended. We're also investment managers. We design portfolios to support the planning that we do, and we manage those portfolios. As a matter of fact, we manage over $1.5 billion here.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
$1.5 billion.
Correct.
Okay, so the stock market, so here's what I would do. If people were calling in, Bob, I'd go, the stock market is really high right now. I would sell everything and park it on the sidelines until things get better, and then I would jump back in. That would be my advice with all of these record highs we're having. I'm sure you hear this all the time. What should people be thinking about doing with their portfolios?
No, that's a good question, and that also illustrates why people should not be calling you for financial advice.
That's what I would do.
Well, folks have been saying that to us for for years, since the 2008 first quarter 2009 crash. And the thing is, you never know when the markets are always hitting new highs, and just because it's a new high doesn't mean it's time to sell. What people should be doing, the usual things, making sure their portfolios are diversified, of course, and taking some gains is always a good idea when the markets are real high. Sell things that you've made a lot of money on, and maybe reposition them into more conservative types of assets. And also look at your portfolio and see, do you have any sorts of alternatives in there, that sorts of investments, assets that don't behave like either stocks or bonds. So
that's a scary thing to me, because I know what stocks and mutual funds are. I don't know what bonds are. And I know what a passbook savings account is. I kind of know what a CD is. But I would like to think that there were more options for me, and I have no idea how I would position those or how that works.
And you're like most people, Don. Most people really don't know the intricacies of finding different sorts of investments that don't have the same sorts of correlations to the stock and bond market. They know about the S&P 500 or just maybe a vanilla bond fund or things like that, which in a bull market or a rising market you're generally fine to have. But when there's a correction, you want to have other things in your portfolio to take cover with.
I want you to be successful. I want my listeners to be successful. And just from personal experience, I know if they call you, they're going to like what they hear. Literally, the advice is sometimes difficult to hear, but it's appropriate. And sometimes you're doing better than you thought, and hooray for you. I've been pushing the website, myprivatevista.com. Maybe some of our listeners want to call you. What's the best number to call?
Sure. Well, we've got offices downtown and in the Loop and out in Oak Brook. I spend most of my time in Oak Brook. If anybody wants to call and talk to me or any of our other wealth advisors, they can call 630-455-0600.
630, write this down, 455-0600. Is that number on your website, too? If I go to myprivatevista.com, will I see that?
Yeah, you'll see it.
630-455-0600. You can talk to any of their pros, but Bob Westrick is my friend. He's the guy that comes into our studio now and again. He's here right now. And that's the number that you will call if you want to reach Bob specifically. And just get started. It's a no-obligation consultation, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love to talk to you.
Love your suit, by the way. That's a fabulous jacket. And again, if Bob's not there, just call back to the radio station, and I'll answer your financial questions.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, Bob Westrick. That's myprivatevista.com. Private Vista is the firm. It's 148 on WGN. Let's pick up a couple of phone calls. Shelley, thanks for holding. You're next. You're on WGN Radio. What do you want to say?